Today we're going to talk about 3 universal watering tips. So, first of all, different flowers usually have different watering needs, which my 3 universal tips kind of supersede most of those. This is a verbena, and the verbena is drought resistant but will bloom better if you water it regularly. You should also, for verbena, avoid getting the foliage wet and just try to water it from underneath to reduce the chance of it kind of sitting in there and molding. Verbenas have a problem with molding if you get the foliage very wet. And if it doesn't, if you do get it a little bit wet and it's hot enough to, evaporate, then that will be fine. So the next thing, here's some more verbena, and there's some pink and red. There's some red verbena, and it all looks pretty good. There's no mold on the leaves, there's no little specks, so I have been trying to water it underneath at the base. So let's see what else we have here. We have lots of different things. This blue is lobella, and it only needs a lot of water in extreme heat, but it will tolerate daily watering as long as the soil is well draining. This is the bacopa, the white, and it also needs well draining soil and will bloom best with regular watering times, and usually at the base is good. It's good for these as well. Then we have there's some more of the bacopa, and it has gotten so big and spread all the little white blooms. This is one plant. I'm trying to get one of these little dead buds off. They're kind of hard to get off on these. So this is one plant that has spread, and so whenever I water it, I try to water it where it began. Like, I don't have to water it out here where it ended up. I have to water it right here where the roots are actually in the ground, not way out there. So we've got the celosia, which actually doesn't look too hot. This has actually been getting way too much water. So that's what that will look like when it's getting too much water, kind of melty and not as super bright as it could be. So yeah, so we might need to kind of cut back, but then again, you've got the petunias right here next to it, and they do need a lot of water. So getting more to my 3 universal watering tips is whenever you first start watering, and if you have the water, it's kind of running off, you can tell that it's kind of pulling up and running away from the plants, then you just need to do a quick little soak and then walk away, water something else, and then come back and wait for it to kind of steep in before you do your deep soak. Because if the dirt is really dry, the water will mainly run off, and so then it's not going to seep into the roots of the plant. Universal tip number 2 is most potted plant, all outdoor potted plants need to be watered every day. Which brings us to number 3, is that all soil should be well draining. Whether your plant likes to be watered every day or twice a week, it still needs to have well draining soil, because none of the roots need to sit and stay wet for very long at a time, because it will cause root rot, and that will actually kill your plant quicker than letting it go without water for a day or so. So 3 tips, once again: wait for the water to kind of seep through before you do a good soak. If you see the water running off, then you need to come back, let that first little soaking seep in, and then do a deep soak. Water potted plants every day. These pots need to be also well draining, so that there's lots of holes so that it can drain out. And the soil in your beds should also be well draining. Thank you so much for watching, and we will be back tomorrow with more tips.